Hey guys, Kim from Your Social Voice here today, doing my Water Cooler Wednesday chats, sitting here in our spare office, and we're doing social on social. So this week there's a few things we wanted to touch on. We've had an awesome day today out with a few clients. We had to come back because it is so hot. It's actually 42 degrees outside in the shade. So if I look like I'm drained, super tired and been sweating all day, probably true because we've been sitting outside filming content. It's been a hectic day. So a couple of things like I mentioned, and you can see in the title here, on social, it was just a little chat, brief little chin wag, if you will, around someone's throwing some likes, which was great, around some stuff for social media. So number one is around building relationships. So this can be done not only on social media, in real life as well. So there's some real life examples, but obviously I want to tie that back into social media because you can build relationships with people, with companies, without even having to have met them, without even them knowing what you actually really look like. You know, we've all got our great Facebook profile pics, things like that. So how can you build these relationships on social media? How do you do it? It all comes down to treating people exactly the same as if you saw them in person. So I always like to call it the bar test. So number one, would you go up to someone and say something like what you're about to say to them? Would you go up to someone and act in a certain manner if you were at a real life bar with them? Would you get a handshake or a hug, or would you get a drink poured on your head or a slap? That's kind of the test that you should be going through to try and figure this stuff out. So on social media, the way that you can do it is you can very easily share other people's content, make sure you comment and build engagement with their things. Same as if you saw one of your friends doing it, you can do this to build relationships with companies, with high level people, things like that. So as soon as you start to build those relationships, you get to extrapolate on those later. It's always about how can you add value now, and then later, how can you maybe, benefit from those things? How can you help each other get each other further in your businesses? So you treat it exactly the same as if it was a friend of yours. How could you share it for them? Maybe you can tag friends and introduce people. That doesn't go unnoticed. People tag people in our ads, people tag people in our content, and I appreciate that and I notice it, and I know when people are doing it for me. So, it's something that you should be thinking about doing as well. The second thing I want to talk about is client relationships. So we've got building relationships and we've got client relationships. When promoting yourself on social media, think about how can you provide value to not only your own brand and your clients, but how can you your own brand and potential customers, but also your existing clients. Not just always looking for new business, but how do you extrapolate and build on old business or current clients. So today, as an example, we went to Cup & Co Cafe. I went down there with one of our clients, Alderton Financials. They're both our clients. We went down there and started filming content. So I arranged a videographer. I arranged them to come down and film a bunch of content. And what happened was we did testimonials, but that's going to be leveraged because it's going to be added bonuses for Alderton Financial because they're mentioned in there. It's going to be added bonus for Cup & Co because they're case studied, they're profiled in this. Hey everyone watching, hope you're doing well. So all these people that are, we're filming content that will be a benefit of us. But by doing that, because I'm going to be promoting it, running some video ads, so you'll start to see a lot of case studies and some content from us around that. When you see that, notice how I'm also profiling them. I'm also providing them value. So it wasn't just me going, hey guys, can I steal 2 hours of your day to film content and get a testimonial from you? It was, hey, how can I help you as well? Because if I drive 20, 50, 100,000 Facebook views on that video, they are also going to be profiled and be seen by that 50, 100,000 people who are going to be aware that they have ridiculously amazing food, ridiculously amazing coffee, all that sort of stuff, because it's what we talk about in the video and then how we got people down there. So it's something to think about is when you're doing your marketing, how can you best collaborate with clients, with existing clients, and how can you best utilize that together to amplify both your brands, because then you tie into both audiences. So with existing clients, start to think, how can we leverage each other to build up a bigger social media following? So, how can you do something co-branded? How can you do an ad that promotes both of you? Maybe if you're just starting out, you can share the ad cost. you both do something that profiles both your businesses really well, and then split the ad spend. Something like that, to see if it can't help you drive extra business and get extra people checking your stuff out. So that's a little bit of social on social. If you have any comments, guys, after, this is just always a couple of minutes live stream on a Wednesday arvo, just getting social Wednesday water cooler chats, and just seeing what are some things going on in social media, or how can you leverage in your business in a slightly different way than maybe you haven't been thinking about. So that's all for this week on social on social. If you do have any questions, if you're watching the replay and you're watching this as probably as a promoted video post, make sure you ask any questions below. Myself and the team will get back to you and answer those for you. If you want to see how you can best apply the few things that I spoke about for your business, make sure you comment, share, tag people, all that fun stuff. Until next week, next Wednesday, we'll be hopefully coming to you live from Lansland, because it's going to be just after Christmas, so we'll be up there for our Christmas do. The office will be closed, but I'll hopefully still be filming you some great content from up there as well. So if you don't see a video from us before, have a Merry Christmas from the team at Your Social Voice. This is the last social on social before Christmas, and we'll see you guys in between the new year and after that too. So if you have any questions, post below. Otherwise, thanks for tuning in, guys. Appreciate it, and see you next week.